And it's time now for the big question, where you get to quiz top celebrities, public figures, decision makers and sports people via GBNews. Now, August the 4th, 1981 was one of the best days of Thomas Markle's life as he finally got to meet his third child, Meghan. A dedicated and loving father, Thomas helped inspire his young daughter's Hollywood ambitions by inviting her on TV sets, where he worked as an Emmy Award-winning lighting director and, by Meghan's own admission, helped her navigate her biracial activity. He also supported Meghan financially as she grew up, paying tens of thousands in private school fees and university tuition and continuing to cover student loan payments even after she landed her breakthrough role in TV drama Suits. Back then, Thomas would never have predicted that despite decades of devotion, he would miss Meghan's fairy tale wedding to a prince, have to threaten legal action to see his grandchildren, and be estranged from his beloved daughter on her 40th birthday with no idea whether he would see her again. And Thomas Markle joins me now. Thomas, it's so good to speak to you. Meghan turned 40 last week. Is it true that you sent her a bunch of flowers?
Yes, I sent her a bouquet of flowers, red roses with 2 yellow roses in the middle for the 2 children. And yes, I wished her a happy birthday and brighter days ahead, I hope.
And did you hear back from her?
No, I haven't heard back. I really didn't expect to hear back from her, but I tried nonetheless.
And so how do you feel, Thomas? How do you comprehend the fact that you've ended up estranged from the woman who you brought up?
I think it's it begins with early on with Jeff Rayner and Coleman Rayner and a scheme they put together. And actually, I'd refer people, if they want to, go back and read Daily Beast, May 18th. There's an article called Inside Coleman Rayner, the ruthless paparazzi who almost derailed the wedding.
And so Thomas, just for
you'll
people
get a lot more information than I can give.
Yeah, and just for people who aren't aware of the situation, they are the blokes that run the paparazzi company who did a deal with you so that you could control the pictures that were coming out before Meghan's wedding of you in Mexico. And by the way, Thomas, I've always defended you for doing that because you were being hounded by photographers, and this gave you a degree of control, right?
Well, I thought it was going to give me a degree of control. Actually, what they did was they went and they charmed my oldest daughter, Samantha, and convinced her that it'd be great to get my image improved, and they would do that for her, and they suggested it'd be the best thing to do. And I bought into it, and unfortunately I bought into it. Had I been maybe 10 years younger, I would not have bought into it. I'm not blaming this on my old age. I'm just saying that I would have been a lot more cautious 10 years before. But I did buy into it, and it turned out to be a scam from the very beginning. And I have been trying to sue these people ever since.
And do you feel that Meghan should have...
I don't want their money, I just want them in a courtroom.
And do you feel, Thomas, that Meghan should have supported you on this rather than believing what the media said about it?
I'm blaming Harry for this mostly. I think Harry has this thing that if you look at the paparazzi, you're doing the wrong thing. The only advice Harry and Meghan ever gave me about paparazzi, and by the way, I did manage to hide from them for almost 9 months. But when they found me, they wouldn't let up every day. They rented the porches on both sides of my house, so they could take continuous pictures of me every time I left the house. They were there every day.
So you were
I
being
asked them for
hunted,
advice,
Thomas.
and their advice to me was never speak to the paparazzi.
And you were being hunted,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, you were being hunted, Thomas, somewhat ironically, in the same way that Prince Harry's mother, Princess Diana, was hunted by the paparazzi. So what I don't understand is, why did Prince Harry not provide you with the support to actually deal with this media storm that you hadn't asked for?
That's an excellent question. I'm over and above that. I'm surprised that Harry never bothered to come down to visit me or ask for my daughter's hand. I would think that a royal would, that'd be one of the first things that a royal would do. He never bothered to come down. He asked for her hand over the phone. I think a man like him, who could have a plane at his disposal at any time, would have flown down to see me and talk to me. He did not.
No, indeed. Now, look, you will be aware that Meghan actually spoke about you and this situation in her bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey. So I want to put to you what she said, because this was obviously watched by millions and millions of people, and give you the opportunity to respond, Thomas. So Meghan said that she said to you, "I just need you to tell me, if you tell me the truth, we can help." And he wasn't able to do that. And that, for me, has really resonated, especially now as a mother. Referring to her relationship with her own child, she said, "I look at Archie, I think about this child, and I genuinely can't imagine doing anything to intentionally cause pain to my child. So it's hard for me to reconcile that." She added that they hunted my mom down, and you've never heard her say a word. She's remained in silent dignity for 4 years. So they were your daughter's comments about you, Thomas, to Oprah Winfrey. How do you respond?
Well, the first response is, what's going to happen to these children? I mean, I don't know what terrible things are going to happen to these children, because I did some photos. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what Harry was talking about. He kept saying, you know, if you say that, then only one kid will be protected instead of two. I don't know what he means. And if he meant that, well, and he already blew the second half by moving to the United States. He did the same thing. He's not getting protected for his second kid because he moved. So why am I being picked on? It seems like I'm very easily picked on, and everybody complains that I do say I'm being picked on. But bottom line is, like, I didn't do anything that horrible. I got played, and I got played into something, and I've been trying to sue them. God knows I will somehow, some way. But I don't think I did anything worthy of this kind of ignorance and no. Listen, when I was laying in a hospital talking to them from the hospital, telling them I couldn't come to the wedding, and they haven't talked to me since.
It's disgraceful.
You have a child, and your parent or your child's in the hospital. Wouldn't you be concerned?
Yeah.
Even if you're mad at them, wouldn't you be concerned if they're going to live or die?
Absolutely.
They don't answer or respond in any way, shape, or form. I really think Meghan and Harry got involved with the Soho Club and a bunch of those kinds of people. And she's changed. She's not the daughter I knew. My daughter was a much more giving, loving person than she is now.
And Piers Morgan lost his job at ITV because he accused your daughter, Meghan, of actually lying to Oprah Winfrey during that interview. Do you believe that she was telling the truth, Thomas? And do you think your daughter has
No,
the
she lied.
capacity
She
to
lied.
tell lies?
She's been lying for a year. She's been lying on and off over different things for you. Lying about the Archbishop. I mean, how can you lie about the Archbishop? How can you say we got married 3 days before we got married? The Archbishop immediately came out. So of course he would. I mean, her lies are so obvious that I don't know why she makes them or why she says them. It doesn't.
And Thomas,
I thought for a while maybe she had.
Yeah. Did she always
ahead,
have the capacity to lie, Thomas?
No. This is new. This is new. This is since. Actually, this is since Harry. I think Harry's the influence here. I don't know if he's the one behind it or she's the one behind it, but I really think that Harry and probably the Soho friends, and I keep using the word Soho friends because that's who they are, have changed her in a bad way, not a good way.
And I just want to clear up, Thomas,
I'm not telling you I don't love my daughter. I love my daughter very much. I love both my daughters very much. I just don't always like what they're doing.
And Thomas, I just want to clear up some of the long-held rumours about Meghan, because obviously you're the person that knows whether they're true or not. Was Meghan obsessed with the royal family growing up? Was she aware of Princess Diana? Did she know about the royal family? Because we've seen that picture of her outside Buckingham Palace. But in interviews more recently, she's claimed that she didn't know anything about the royal family.
Well, she probably knew a little bit about them. I don't think she was enthralled with the royals at any time. She went on a trip with a girlfriend to London when she was 15, and that's where the picture comes in front of the fountain and so forth. But I don't think at that time she had any great moments in her mind about marrying into royalty. I don't think that was there.
What about her?
She was mostly at that age wanted to be an actor or that dancer. That was her real dream.
What about her political ambitions, Thomas? Because a lot of people who I've spoken to in recent years who know Meghan very well says that she harbours an ambition to become the US president.
I think that's a joke. From beginning to end, I think it's a complete joke. I don't think she has any ambition to be a mayor. I don't think she has any ambition to be a dog catcher. I don't think she has any ambition to be a governor or president. I don't think that's in her mind at all. If someone's saying that, it might be cute, but Oprah would push her out of the way anyway. And if that came up, Oprah would take over.
Well, just this week, we've heard that she may have fallen out with the Obamas because Harry and Meghan didn't attend Barack's birthday party. There's some speculation that perhaps he sided with Prince William and the royal family in the row between Prince William and Prince Harry. Do you think Obama's right to side with William over Harry and Meghan if that's what he's done?
I think Obama's absolutely right. I think so many people are right now because both Meghan and Harry are attacking the royal family from both ends. And for God's sakes, attacking a 95-year-old grandmother, great-grandmother, is unforgivable. And none of the rest of the world have deserved what they've been shoveled out either. it's embarrassing that they're doing this. It's embarrassing for them to be telling me a few years ago, never talk to the press, and they spend 3 hours on a show with Oprah where Harry claims that he's reclaiming his mental illness. He's curing himself of his mental illness. Is a joke. You don't go on a TV show and talk for 3 hours to get rid of your mental illness. You talk to a psychiatrist quietly in a room somewhere, and you work out your problems. But you don't turn it into a television show. I know, I've done a lot of television shows.
Did Meghan experience racism growing up, Thomas?
No. Not at all. Not to my knowledge. I saw no racism whatsoever. She had, when she was younger, she had black girlfriends and white girlfriends all through school, all over schools. The Little Red Schoolhouse was one, and then Immaculate Heart Junior and Senior High School was another. There was never any problem with racism at all.
There's rumours that she said that she identified as Caucasian in the early days of her acting career. Were you aware of that?
I wasn't aware that she claimed to be a Caucasian, or if that's what you're saying. No. She one time came to me and she said she didn't know what to mark on a box. There was a box she got on a piece of paper at school. You have to mark what race you are. And I told her to draw her own box, make her own box. I said, make your own box, and I'll defend you. I'll write out underneath, this is what she is. If she wants to say, my mom is white, my dad is black, or my mom is black and my dad is white, do whatever makes you feel right. You know, I think it's nonsense for anyone this day and age to say if you're 5% or 10% black, that you're black. That makes no sense. That's nonsense. That goes back to the old KKK days. Nonsense.
Now, two other big scandals that involve you, Thomas. Obviously, you revealed this letter that Meghan had written to you in a newspaper, but you only did so because some of the contents of the letter had already appeared in the US magazine People, where a whole load of Meghan's friends spoke on the record. Do you believe that those friends of Meghan would have spoken on the record if they didn't have her permission to do so?
I don't know whether they had her permission or not, but the fact that they weren't really that they weren't willing to reveal their names means that they may or may not be telling the truth. All I asked for was their names. And I said, if I don't get their names, well, I'm going to release part of the letter. I released part of the letter, not the whole letter. It may or may not get released someday. It's not that important. It really isn't. There are some very hateful things in that letter that I held back on purpose that I didn't want to release.
Because it hurt so much?
Yes.
Do you feel...
We've had a very good relationship all through her growing up, and a very close relationship all through her growing up, and some of the things that were said were very offensive.
Because you paid for a lot of her education,
Here again, I blame some of this on Harry. I paid for all of her education, yes.
And that's...
I don't have any regrets about that. I'm sorry, what did she say publicly?
Well, she said that she actually struggled through and that she had to work to pay for her university education. That was in a speech that she gave on tour in Fiji. That's
total nonsense. Her entire there were no Uh, uh, there were no contributions of any other type except mine. They came from me. I can give you names of people at Northwestern that will back that up if I have to do that. I don't feel it's necessary, but I could do that. I could also get the records from Northwestern to prove it, but I don't want to have to do that. She knows that I paid for her education from preschool all the way through college.
Thomas, what do you think of the name Lilibet, the name of your new granddaughter?
I call her Lily, just plain Lily. I think that's a great name. Lily is a perfect name for her. I'd like to see her. I'd dearly like to see her, and certainly like to hold her. And same with Archie. I'd like to see Archie as well. But I don't think the Lily bet is necessary. Lily is a perfect name.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.